Okay, boss. Some more points. We got introduction to InfoObjects, InfoCube, multi-provider, DS, all this. Then there's one more component called InfoArray. Very simple. It is just like a folder in Windows. So what we do, let's say in BW you're building data warehousing applications, and as part of this you go about creating a lot of objects like InfoObjects, InfoCubes, DSOs, all this, right? You would like to organize all of them as part of a folder. That's where we use it, info area. So we just create info area. Under this info area, we're going to create all different kind of objects and then organize them. So info area is just for organizing your project. That's it, organizing your objects here. And it is similar to your folder in Windows. And some other points to be noted: every object you create in BW, whether it is info area, InfoObject catalogs, or InfoObjects, InfoCubes, or DSOs, master, anything, or BigQuery query, in fact, anything, you'll have two things: technical name and description. Technical name and description. And technical name is what used by the system in the backend to recognize each object uniquely, and description is for you to understand what does this object mean to you. Okay, and so always technical name and description. And technical name cannot hold any special characters into it, but it can take underscore is fine, but no other special characters except underscore. Okay, and description can take anything. It's long text, you can type in anything. Okay? Then every object you refer in BW, whether it is info area, info object, cube, anything, always have two types. One is standard objects and customized objects. Standard objects are nothing but the ready-made business content objects delivered by SAP, and the objects what we create is what we refer them as customized objects. SAP or ready-made objects are standard. Manam create these objects are customized objects. And once the object is created, we cannot change the technical name. If you want, you can still go about changing the description, but technical name cannot be changed. Only option is you'll have to drop it and recreate with the new technical name. That's the only option. Technical name can never be changed. Next, we also use another object called InfoObject catalogs. Now, do we have different types of objects? InfoObjects. See, objects is different, InfoObjects are different. We have different type of InfoObjects. We have seen in the last class characteristics and key figures, unit, time. Yeah, good. So ultimately, I said when you're trying to build a warehousing application, it means based on the requirement, you basically create all the InfoObjects, group them, create your data container like ODS or cube, and then pump in the data into it and then do reporting. So what you do is, so once we have the info area, under this we're going to create different type of InfoObjects. So what we want to do is, in order to organize those InfoObjects based on their type, I would like to have all the characteristics into one folder and all my key figures into one folder. That is what is done by InfoObject catalogs. So InfoObject catalog is again like a folder inside an info area, which will be used to organize the objects based on their type. All characteristic InfoObjects anni oka catalog lo, key figure InfoObjects anni oka catalog lo pedtam. That is what it is, nothing else. Look at this here. So this is like info area for me, and our characteristic catalog, and what is this here? Key figure. Under this characteristic catalog, I'll have all characteristics. Under the key figure catalog, I'll have what? All key figures in it. Okay. Then we've seen about InfoObject yesterday. That's going to be similar to your field in other applications, or each column in the source we refer it as what? InfoObject, and we have different types: characteristics, key figure, time, all this. Okay. So what I'm trying to show you is, now before we go on to schema and all those stuff, I just want to make you understand something about master data and transaction a little bit. Then we'll see a system walkthrough. Then I'll go back to the schema. Okay. Now you should have this understanding here. Let's say I have some sales order. What do you mean by sales order? It's a transaction. You like say you're dealing with you're selling some products. Your customer comes to you and places an order to you, and based on the order you do a subsequent delivery and billing. Yeah. So list of all the orders what I get from the customer is what I refer to as sales order. So whenever I'm performing a sales order, I'm storing all these details. Sales order number, okay. Let's say I would say created date. What is created date? The date when the order has been raised, okay. Customer who placed this order, and the product for which he has placed this order, and then let me make it simple. Okay, what is it? You wanted price of the product, and then say quantity, then say total amount. You can have tags and all, making it simple. So this is the data I'm going to have for each transaction like this. So let's say I have an order like 100000001, and it is created on some date. Let's say okay, and this was from a customer C100. This was for product M101. Let's say price was 5 and quantity is 10. So total value is what? 50. Can this order have multiple items? So I'm planning the same way. So I'm going to have one more order, same order number on the same date, but again the customer is same, but the product is different. 102, 6, say 15, and say 19 is available. So do I understand this transaction? Suppose so I understand that there is one sales order which was raised by customer C100, and for two products M101, 102, and this is the values. Now what I have is I have customer details. Say customer number, and let's say customer region, customer country, say anything you can have. Okay, I'm okay with these three. So I have the master data for this customer C100. Region is say South, say country is India, and then say city I would say Bangalore. Okay, now I also have product master database, product details, say product, so CN would say customer. So product, then say product name, product type or something. So M101, and I've got M102. Say name is, let's say X3 series, X5, and say car, let's say this is my bike, something Z5, and this is the data I've got. Okay, boss. Now can I, no, what is this now? Can I say this is my transaction database? And what about this? Okay. So now do you understand the exact difference? What is going to be master data and what is going to be transaction data? Now do we have a link? So even in BW we are going to formulate master data in master data containers, and I'm going to store all my transaction data into what? Cube. Yeah, and once I have the master data, it can be linked up to n number of cubes. Imagine this as your cube, imagine this as your master data containers. And now do we have a link here? If you see this, yeah, now do you see a link between the product? Yeah, and again you see another link. right? Now can you tell me how much sales do I have in for the product type cars? I would like to analyze, simple, I would like to analyze, uh, did I do more sales for cars or bikes? That's what I want. So I would like to, I'm analyzing what? The product type by using what? The measures, or nothing but by using the key figures of my transaction, or nothing but transaction is being used to analyze my dimensions. So you can understand master data as your dimension. Yeah. So I'm analyzing the customers or I'm analyzing products by using this transactions. Did you get this idea? ఈ గ్రిప్ ఉంటే అంతే, అంతా లింక్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోవడం. Okay, boss, fine. So like this you start analyzing all these dimensions by using your transactions. Ante idi concept. Okay. Got this point? So what I would do is I would basically take the same data into BW and then show you how does it look, how do we load, and then how do we do reporting on it. That's it, simple. Just I'm not teaching anything, I'm just walking you through on the system. BW లో ఎలా చేస్తారు, ఎలా ఉంటుంది అంతవరకు, just get the feel of the system. Okay. So I'm logging into BW. And majority of the case you do all your work in what? RSA1, administrative workbench. Good. So before I go on to this, let me make all this data ready. So assume I have got all this transaction or mastered in some Excel files. Yeah, I'm going to create those files and keep it ready. Yeah, for now. Yeah. Okay. This is my file. I will save it as some folder in my own system. I'm saving. I'll say transaction. I'm saving it as what? CSV. Let's say you're given with these files. And let's say I take the customer data also. Let's say customer and set it as what again? CSV file. One more separate file. And take the product details again. Let's say now this is the business requirement, and they got all their data given to you in .csv files, and you'll have to get this data into BW, provide them the reports. Okay. So I'll go to BW. Okay. First let's concentrate on bringing the master data first, then let's go on to the cube. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm in the modeling front. I'll go to what menu is this? InfoObjects menu. First I'll start up creating my info area because I want all my objects into one block. So I'm just creating it. Right click, say what? create info area. So does it ask you technical name description? Say why BMW. That's my info area name. So I've got lot of info areas, but I'll have to go to the bottom. Okay, under this area I need to have two catalogs. One is I'm going to create different type of info objects, but to group them based on their type I need two info object catalogs. Okay. So right click on this info area, then I get option as what? Create info object catalog. Yeah. Z BMW, I would say car, that's a technical name. Car catalog. What object are you creating? Info object, catalog, and just select as characteristic data type and say what? Create. And just say activate. Back. Next, one more. And select the readable as what? Now key figure. So you can only create info object catalog for key figure and char. You cannot create for unit, time, not possible. Now done. So what I'll do based on the let me close this out file. So now this is the design which we wanted. So based on design, let me see each column is my info object in BW. So I'll have to start creating so many info objects and manipulate the database. Let's focus on customer first. So how many columns do we have? This is the same data I've got in my file, or you should treat that file as a source. It could be Oracle database, SAP, Excel, anything it is, it's a source. Okay. So when I've got 4 columns, how many info objects do I need in BW? 4. I go about creating 4 info objects. First one is, what is the first one? Customer. Okay, good. Select the characteristic. Now customer is a characteristic or key figure? So select this characteristic catalog, right click, say what? Create info objects. You can give any name you want, but preferably it's a, when we create, it's a custom object, right? We try to prefix with Z, Y or Z, so that I can recognize it's a custom object, because all the standard objects will have the technical name as 0, yeah. Y customer something like that. Some description, say okay. And it'll ask you the data type of this info. What is the data type? You'll have data like char. Char means alphanumeric, alphabets, numerics both. Num-C only numerics, DATs for date and TIMS for time. Now if you look at this customer CNet, what does it hold? Alphanumeric. So what data type will I choose? Char. And what is the length of the info object you want? 4. That's it. Don't worry on anything and just say what? Activate your info. That's about creating info object. Next, what? I want region. South, right? So char, and it can be more, but you cannot have it less. Okay. Activate. So next, what? Y country. ఎక్కువ ఉన్న ప్రాబ్లం లే, తక్కువ ఉండకూడదు అంతే. సిటీ వాంటెడ్. ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది. Because you cannot have multiple objects with the same technical name, not possible. Now done. All my 4 info objects are ready. But if you look at the relationship here in the source, your region object, country object, city are actually attributes of what? Customer. So I need to do the same there. What I'll do? I'll open up my customer info object definition. Okay. Fine. Go here. Then here you can indicate. I told you master. You can maintain master data for this with 3 types: attribute, text, and hierarchies. Right? Ikkada. For customer, do you want attribute? Yes or no? The checkbox. You want text? No. Do you want attribute కావాలంటే select చేయలేదు చూడు. As soon as select this, you get a new tab here, attributes అని వస్తుంది. So with this checkbox indicating for customer, I have some properties or attributes. Nothing more properties of the customer. What ekkada ఏంది ఇక్కడ attributes లోకి వెళ్ళి అవన్నీ ఇచ్చాయి. What is it? Y then what? Y city, Y country. That's it. Now this is how I formulated my master data attribute. Now చూడొచ్చు table చూడొచ్చు చూడు. Internally it చూద్దాం, but it formulates one table. Don't worry about this. So we got a table with customer number, region, city and country, where customer number is what? The key, because you configured these three as attributes of customer, right? So customer is a primary. Atla automatic table create అయిపోద్ది, నువ్వేం చేయనవసరం. That's it, my customer is ready. Now I would like to extract data from that file and load into this customer master bus. Okay, what I do is okay. Now if I go to InfoProvider, you should find the same info area for you. Do we have it? Just to get to this, I am setting this as favorite so that I can see my object easily here. Add to favorite, then you can start seeing that here. Okay. ikkada akkade work cheychu. You can still work on this. Right click, you can create cubes on this. Instead of doing, I'm just bringing it to favorite so that I can see that clearly. Now right click and there is object. What is this here? Insert your characteristic InfoProviders provider. Okay, now click on this. And what is your main? What is the main characteristic? Y. So this is customer. When I expand, you see what is this here? Attribute symbol. So I've got my customer attribute as my target ready. I've got my file. From the file, I need to extract and load into that target. That's my requirement. First thing is, to do this, I need to have a source system connection between my flat files and this. So I'm going to use a file interface which is already there. Okay, I'm not creating anything new. So what I'll do now, right click on this and say what, or you can go to what, data source. I'm going to use that connection. Drop down this source systems file. Which connection I want to use? I want to use, say, YPC file or something. Now these are all like folders. You can create a new folder also. Right click, say what, new application. We call it as application component. ZBNW AC something. I get this application component here. Now you're going to basically focus mainly on creating data source. Data source is an object which tells you what is my source of data and what fields are coming from that source. Okay, right click, say what is create data source. I can move it up. It's not working. Okay, right click and say what, create data source. Just name of the data source, I would say something customer data. Okay, I would say data source for customer data. Okay, so I'm building a data source which can source the customer data for me. And last, what does it ask me? Type. You have different types of data sources. So based on the source, the usability is different. So are we extracting attribute data or text or hierarchies or transaction? Which one is it? Attribute. Say okay. So just give some, this is a data source definition, just give some descriptions. So you want to specify your file. Your file is in local workstation, in a local desktop, yes. Or you can say file is an application server or Excel file, whatever it is. But mine is a normal text type file in local workstation. And browse through, select your file. It's in my desktop. Which file is it? Customer file. Do we have an header row in the file? So I wanted to ignore it. And what type of data format is this? Is it fixed length? Fixed length ante there's no comma, nothing. Inga nik correct ga artham kavalante, if you see this the folder, if you right click on this and say open with notepad, you can see, you see the, since it is a CSV file, .csv, you see the values separate with commas here. అదే సమ్టైమ్స్ యూ మే నాట్ యూజ్ ది కామా వాల్యూ, ఫిక్స్డ్ లెంత్ ఉంటుంది. అంటే ఫస్ట్ 10 క్యారెక్టర్స్ ఈజ్ ఆల్వేస్ డాక్యుమెంట్ నంబర్, నెక్స్ట్ 10 క్యారెక్టర్స్ ఈజ్ కస్టమ్, అప్పుడు ఫిక్స్డ్ లెంత్ వాడతాం. నౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ వాట్ comma separate values. So I would say drop down data format is what CSV file, and data separator is comma. Then you can propose it. You can ask my system to propose the fields. If you go to fields, it is going to come. See, look at the fields tab. So your data source has got information about from which file what data it has to extract. Then it has also got the information about the fields, which tells you what fields will be extracted from that file. ఆ ఫైల్లో నుంచి ఏ కాలమ్స్ వస్తున్నాయని చెప్తాను. ఫీల్డ్స్ ఐఎమ్ ఓకే. ఇక్కడ ఇట్ డస్ ప్రపోజ్ సమ్ డేటా టైప్ అండ్ లెంత్ ఆటోమేటిక్లీ. నీకు ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ హ్యాపీ యూ కెన్ ఇంక్రీజ్ ద లెంత్స్. ఓకే, యూ కెన్ ఆల్వేస్ చేంజ్ ఇట్. సే రీజన్ ఓకే, నాకు సిటీ 3 కాదు, నాకు 12కి పోవాలా, యూ కెన్ ఆల్వేస్ ఇంక్రీజ్ ఇట్ అండ్ సే యాక్టివేట్. Okay, then go to what preview, and you can see my data source is going to read my data from that file and give it to you. So I built a component called data source which can extract the data from that file. So from this data source, where should my data go in, get in actually? What is my target? My customer attribute table is my target. So I'm going to map these two. My target is going to have info objects. My data source is going to have the columns from the source. I need to map which field to which column. Yeah? Now right click on the target, and there's an option called, what is here? We create something called transformations. Okay, let's say create transformations. Here, so target is info object. What is the source object? Data source. Data source is this. Which is a flat? Which is the source system you're using? Wireflow. Now map. In the field, left hand side is my source data source fields. Right hand side I've got my info objects of my target. It can be zigzag anywhere with this, because data source will match my file structure, and then with the help of transformations we are mapping which field or which column of my data source should feed data into which info object of my target. And that's it, mapping is ready. If you can right click on this and say display data flow. You can see the complete flow formulated bus pipe, source system, data source, your target table connected with what? Transformations. Now flow is ready. So I need to leverage this flow and start loading the data bus. For this we use a component called, first select your data source. I can see the complete flow. Expand the target, this is transformations, this is data source. Right click on the data source and you get option as what? Create info package. In the architecture I was telling you, you'll have something called PSA. Data source is nothing but PSA. PSA is nothing but data source. Yeah. So when I basically create this info package and run this, it will extract data from the source, which could be flat file or R3, whatever it is, and loads it to PSA, nothing but data source. You can see the monitor. You say what is this? One record వచ్చింది. Now what should I do? You can see the data in the data source. What is data source ante PSA and data source. Now you can see the data, manage, select this and say PSA entries. You see the record which has come into what? PSA bus. Now next what I do? Now go it చూపిస్తా ఒకటి PSA కి వెళ్ళి, I told you we can do editing in PSA. పట్టుకుని పెన్సిల్ మార్క్ ఉంటే you can do any changes you want. Next what should I do? From PSA or data source I need to load it to a target master data bus. For this you see a folder called DTP here, data transfer process. Right click and say what? Create. We use another component called DTP. Don't have to do anything, just activate, don't do anything. So this will just extract the data, and when you do this, this will just extract data from the PSA to master data objects. So what is it? Says one record is successful. When you see green, it's successfully loaded. Sorry. If I go to RSA1 and if I can see this, right click, maintain master data bus. It has come into master data bus, right? Now let's say now same way I would like to build it for my material product. Let me go to again let me create info objects, formulate attribute table, load. Ante ide flow ne. Yeah, product, product name, product type. So I'll create info object. Y say what activate. Next what product name I want. Then what else I want? Product type I want. So now I'll have to again change my product and enable what? I don't want I don't text, only attributes. What attributes you want? YP name, YP type. That's it. My attribute table is ready again. I can see the table here. Don't worry on this. You got product number, name and type, 3 columns in the table. But this table is blank now because we have not done the loading yet. Again go to favorites or InfoProvider menu. Right click on this area and say what? Insert characteristic as InfoProvider. Now you get the product with attribute. Its target is ready. Again I need to what? I'm just using same file, flat file source. Let me leverage a data source. Data source for product. I must attribute data source because I'm extracting attribute data. కొద్ది ఫాస్ట్గా ఉన్న తెలుసు ఎందుకంటే నేను మీకు నేర్పించడం లేదు, చూపిస్తున్నా. ఓకే product. Okay, again it's one header, it's CSV file and the data separator is what? Comma proposal fields I've got ready. Okay, done. Activate. I can see the preview. It's all fine. Now I need to start connecting this data source to my target bus. Right click and say what? Create transformations, data source, flat file. Then do mapping, product to product, name to name, product type. Then again what? My flow is ready. Then I need to create what? Two records are loaded. Next what? DTP. Just click on what? Loaded. If it is loaded, I should see that in my target. Product number, right click, say what? Maintain master data. Okay, done. Next, my requirement is to focus on the transaction data which I need to load it to my cube. So again, I need to create my info objects, group them, create cube. Yeah. For transaction data, let me focus. I need to have sales order number. I need to have some date, customer, product, price. These are key figures. Let me create all. Let me create sales order number first, which is sales order number is a characteristic or key figure. Doubt unte rendu add chesi chudu ante y SLS order. Okay, sales order number. Yeah, I don't need any attributes or something. I just want say nums. Can I say numsy? 10 numbers max. Okay, done. Next what? Date, right? Can I create one date field? Y created. Let's say created date, created on. Yeah. What is the data will say? Okay, was done. Next, what else? Customer. Now do I already have information for customer? I can use it. Do I already have product? Yes. Then price, quantity, amount. Then this time it is going to be key figure, right? So I'll select what? Keyword catalog, right click. Price, amount. I'm all going with fixed currency. Whenever I say amount, I need to give currency. Then quantity was. Select what? Fixed unit as each piece. Car and piece lega. And then what? Amount. Amount is again amount, and then so all my info objects are ready. Now I need to create my cube. So cube is created under InfoProvider menu. Only in the info area right click on this, create cube. ఇక్కడ కొట్టినా ఒకటి ఆల్రెడీ మన ప్రొవైడర్స్ దీన్ని ఫేవరెట్లో పెట్టినాం కాబట్టి I can right click on this and say what? Create InfoCube. Why sales cube, and this is one type of cube I told you, standard cube. Okay, in the cube we basically specify all the characteristics. You'll have something like dimension, we'll see that later. All the info objects I specify. Y customer, Y product, sales, sorry. YC on. So I specified I wanted all these characteristics. Then key figures. Done. Activate. That's it. This is creating cube. Simple. So now I need to start extract the transaction, load into my cube now. So again I'll use the same source, same flat file. Now this time I'm going to create what? Again, create data source. DS for sales transactions. Okay. This time what type of data source will I create? Yeah, because it is based on the data class. Yeah, what kind of data are we next? Just give any description. Local workstation, again transaction file, address is 1, CSV file, and then comma. This is batti the logical. Okay. Yeah. See, sales order number, it says integer. I want it as num_c, and I want it to take 10. External 10. Created dates is okay. Care customer, okay. This is taking as integer, is all fine. Done. Activate. You can customize it. Let the system propose, and then you can customize the data types of the column. Let's see the file. Transactions also done. Now I need to do what then? Right click on the cube. What? This time your provider is cube. That's it. Sales order number to sales order, created date to what? Where is created? Customer to customer, product to product, price to price, quantity to quantity, amount to amount. Activate. Okay, I understand. Fixed currency, just go to the rule details. It's a no conversion. We'll discuss on this later, but so I've done the mapping between data source and my cube. Create info package, load sales data something, This is like info package. Now I'm bringing transaction data to PS. Transaction ఏదైనా PS కోసం అక్కడి నుంచి పైకి వెళ్తుంది. And I had 2 transaction records done. Next is DTP, create DTP folder, create DTP, activate. Done, loaded. Now I can see data in the cube. Now right click on this cube and say what is display data. I would like to see all characteristics. This is my data loaded into my cube. There's something, see request ID. I tell there will be some technical characteristics. You don't have to worry on the hide, and then you can see. Now sequence leader ante nee layout nee etlagana adu pettukochu. Drag and drop, and then this is sequence. Price munduku ravalante munduke, quantity munduku ravalante munduke. Idu only layout etlagana adu saddukochu. Ante cube load అయితే ఇంకేం చేయొచ్చు. Can I do reporting on it? For reporting we use a component called BEX here. Go to all programs. When you install GUI, you will also get this. When you install GUI, you get this component called BEX, and I use this is the main component I use for designing query designer. So ఇంకోటి చూడాలి మీరు ఇప్పుడు క్యూబ్ డిజైన్ రైట్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ ద క్యూబ్ అండ్ ఇఫ్ యూ సే డిస్ప్లే డేటా మోడల్ యూ కెన్ సీ డైమెన్షన్స్లో మన కస్టమర్ ఉన్నాడు, కీవర్డ్స్లో వీళ్ళు ఉన్నారు రైట్. ఈ కస్టమర్ ఎక్స్పాండ్ చేస్తే ఐ గెట్ టు సీ ఆల్ ద అట్రిబ్యూట్స్. ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇస్ సో కస్టమర్ ఇస్ లింక్ టు సమ్ అట్రిబ్యూట్స్, ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇస్ లింక్ టు అది మెయిన్ లింకింగ్. సో మాస్ డేటా ఈస్ క్రియేటెడ్, ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ ఈస్ క్రియేటెడ్, మాస్ డేటా ఇస్ లింక్ టు మై ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ డేటా. రిపోర్ట్లోకి వెళ్ళి క్వెరీ సేవ్ న్యూ క్వెరీ అడుగుతుంది. నువ్వు వాట్ సెలెక్ట్ ఇన్ఫో ప్రొవైడర్. నా ప్రొవైడర్ వచ్చేసి వై సేల్స్ సెర్చ్. ఇది నా క్యూబ్. గో ఇన్ అండ్ దెన్ డ్రాగ్ అండ్ డ్రాప్. కీవర్డ్స్ అన్నీ ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాయి. డైమెన్షన్స్లో క్రియేట్ డౌన్ కస్టమర్, ప్రోడక్ట్, సేల్స్. నీకు ఏది కావాలో అది. నాకు సేల్స్ ఆర్డర్ కావాలి, ప్రోడక్ట్ కావాలి, లేదా కస్టమర్ కావాలి, నాకు అమౌంట్, డ్రాగ్ అండ్ డ్రాప్ అంతే. ప్రైస్ కావాలి, క్వాంటిటీ కావాలి, దెన్ అమౌంట్ కావాలి. ఓకే, అది కాకుండా లెట్స్ అలాగ్ విత్ కస్టమర్ ఐ వుడ్ లైక్ టు హ్యావ్ దట్ అట్రిబ్యూట్స్ ఆల్సో. దెన్ వన్ సిటీ, వన్ కంట్రీ, వన్ రీజన్. ఓకే, ఐ వాంట్ టు గెట్ ప్రోడక్ట్ అట్రిబ్యూట్స్ ఆల్సో. One name, one type. Okay, and I also want to have date, created date. I can control some property. Hey Jale, I want to just whatever I've got in queue, I'm just dragging everything, and then save your query. My sales, query save just. అంతే. స్టార్ట్ రన్నింగ్ దిస్ క్వెరీ అంటూ బ్రౌజర్. ఇక్కడ నాకేంటంటే ఒక ఐపీ అడ్రస్ మార్చాలి. And you get the report out. Look at this. This is my sales order, customer. See, it is same, so it is not repeating it, but the product is different. And then you get the dates. Yeah, you can remove the product from the drill down. Let's say it's all slice and dice. Yeah, and I drill down, remove sales order number, and then customer is okay. I remove date. Now customer wise I'm doing. Now I would like drill on product. Now override customer with product. I get product details. Now I want to see only sales order, remove product and alter number wise. You can basically slice and dice your query and then do report. And I want to see product wise details, and then I want to see that as a chart. You can see the chart, and this is not the chart type what I wanted. I want to have different you can go to settings, chart. ఇది కొద్దిగా నాకు బగ్ ఉందన్న. I can bring line chart. అదే నాకు కొద్దిగా డ్రాప్ డౌన్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది, బట్ లైక్ ఇది క్వెరీయింగ్ అన్నమాట. బీడబ్ల్యూ అంటే ఇదే, దిస్ ఇస్ బీడబ్ల్యూ. సో బేసిక్లీ మరి ఎందుకు 2 నెలలు చెప్తున్నాను కోర్స్ అంటే basically you'll have different now I've just shown with flat file, but you can have to extract data from DB Oracle database, or you have to extract from SAP ECC CRM ఏ system అని ఉండొచ్చు. Then it could be you just in cube you might have ODS. The cube can become complex. Master data will have different types. At DTP you've seen, InfoProviders you've seen, but we're just creating and running it, but there are a lot of options, a lot of properties in each of this transformations, DTP, info package queue, అన్నిట్లో చాలా ఆప్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. And then query also will have lots of options. దీన్నే when you start expanding in, it becomes more 2 months పడుతుంది అన్నట్టు. అది కాన్సెప్ట్. DTPలో ప్రతి ప్రాపర్టీ, ఇన్ఫోపైలో ప్రతి ప్రాపర్టీ, ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్లో ప్రతి ఆప్షన్, క్యూబ్లో ప్రతి ఆప్షన్ అన్నీ వెళ్తే టైం పడుతుంది. బట్ పీడబ్ల్యూ అంటే ఇంక ఇదే. ఇంకా కొన్ని వేరే సపోజ్ యువర్ transaction was very simple. Let's say ఇంకిట్లుంది, I've got millions of data. I'm extracting data for 5 years of data. As a point of scalability, I don't want to store all data in a single cube. Then అప్పుడేంది, I would like to have 5 cubes. I'll have one data source giving the millions of data, but this data source should feed 5 cubes. అప్పుడు ఒక డేటా సోర్స్ 5 cubes, అప్పుడు 5 ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్స్, 5 DTPs, అట్లా కాంబినేషన్స్ కానీ వేరియేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి అన్నట్టు. దట్ ఈస్ వేర్ వీ లర్న్ మోర్ ఇన్ డీటెయిల్ విత్ ఈచ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ టాపిక్. ఇది చూసి నాకేం అర్థం కావాలంటే అర్థం కానవసరం లేదు, నీకు ఒకటే అర్థం కావాల్సింది ఏమి, డేటా ఉంటే బిడులు తెస్తాం, రిపోర్ట్ బిగ్. ఆ 2 పాయింట్ల కోసం ఇంతసేపు చూపించింది. ఎట్లా తెస్తాము ఎట్లా అనేది యూ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ టు వరీ, దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్ నావిగేషన్ బస్. BW is all about this. So but you see, you create master data first, and that was getting linked up to my transaction data in BW. You create master data first, then you create a cube, because you're using the same info objects, the master data is being linked up. Yes or no? That is important. Once you create master data in BW, it can be reused for n number of cubes. Actually cube lo transaction data ఉంటుంది, master data content separate. Once you have the master data, it can be reused, linked up to n number of cubes. For example, na customer master ఉంది, I connected to sales cube. Let's say tomorrow I'm creating finance cube, I can connect master data. Tomorrow I'm creating inventory cube, I can connect the same product to that also. ఎన్ని క్యూబులకైనా సేమ్ మాస్టర్ డేటా లింక్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్తాను. సో వన్స్ మాస్టర్ డేటా ఇస్ క్రియేటెడ్, ఇట్ ఈస్ గ్లోబలీ కెన్ బి రీయూస్ ఫర్ ఎన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ క్యూబ్స్. సో యూ గెట్ ఫీల్ ఆఫ్ వాట్ BW ఈస్. యాక్చువల్లీ ఇప్పుడు క్యూబ్ క్రియేట్ చేసినాం కదా, నీ క్యూబ్ ఇట్లా మామూలు సింపుల్గా కనిపిస్తుంది, లోపల ఎట్లుంటుందంటే అబ్బా okay, actually it will have lots of table. You just see cube as a simple view, but in the backend it will be having lots of tables joined to get that results for you. So that is called as extended star scheme, because cube is a multi-dimensional model. To enable that, SAP uses extended star schema as a design where you will have lot of tables joined together to get the view. So tomorrow we are going to focus on learning about that schema. Schema ఎలా ఉంటుంది, క్యూబ్ ఎలా చేస్తే స్కీమా ఎలా ఫామ్ అవుతుంది, దాని స్ట్రక్చర్ ఎలా ఉంటుందని మనం చూస్తాం. List scheme. By using the list schema T code, you can see the schema actually in the system also. So that is where we're going to focus tomorrow on this one, extended star schema. ఏం టేబుల్స్ ఉంటాయి, ఎలా టేబుల్స్ ఇట్లుంటుంది ఆల్మోస్ట్. ఇది ఒక్కొక్క బ్లాక్ ఒక టేబుల్, ఎన్నెన్నో టేబుల్స్ అన్నీ కలిపి విల్ బి గెటింగ్ దట్ వ్యూ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. సో ఎలా లింక్ అవుతాయి, ఏంది, ఎందుకు లింక్ చేయాలి, ఏంది దాని కథ ఏంది, వాట్ ఈస్ ద బెస్ట్ డిజైన్ టు డిజైన్కి. యాక్చువల్లీ మీరు నేర్చుకునే టైంకి క్యూబ్ డిజైన్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ తగ్గిపోయింది. ఎందుకంటే విత్ హనా కమింగ్ ఇన్ ద బ్యాక్ ఎండ్, డిజైన్ ఏం లేదు, ఇష్టాన్సర్ లాగ్ అన్నట్టు. బికాస్ ఈ హనా సేస్ యూ స్టోర్ డేట్ ఇన్ ఎనీ ఫామ్, ఐ విల్ హ్యాండిల్ ద పర్ఫార్మెన్స్. సో క్యూబ్ డిజైన్కి పెద్ద ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఇప్పుడు లేదు. బట్ వెన్ హనా ఈజ్ నాట్ బీన్ యూస్డ్, ద డిజైన్ ఆఫ్ ద క్యూబ్ ఈజ్ రియలీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. అంటే యువర్ ఫోకస్ ఇస్ మోర్ ఆన్ రెడ్యూసింగ్ ద సైజ్ ఆఫ్ ద క్యూబ్ అండ్ స్టోరింగ్ మోర్ డేట్. అంతే హనా కట్టలేదు, నువ్వు ఎట్లానే బట్టి నేను చూసుకుంటా అంటున్నాను. కానీ మీరు ఆ టైంలో నేర్చుకుంటారు BW. బట్ స్టిల్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు you should know this to see the benefits of HANA boss. Yeah. Fine, okay. We'll continue tomorrow boss. Done.